Want to know what Europe does for you? Welcome to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcast on agriculture.
The Common Agricultural Policy is one of the oldest EU policies. Its main aim is to support farmers and ensure Europe's food security, but it does much more than that.
Stay with us and we'll walk you through the ins and outs of one of Europe's most controversial yet popular policies.
Launched in the early 1960s, at a time when Europe was struggling to feed its own population, Agricultural Policy, or CAP, was designed to encourage farmers to produce enough food by guaranteeing internal prices and incomes.
Those difficult times are long gone, but the CAP remains one of the EU's most important policies as it ensures that farmers can make a reasonable living while producing enough food at affordable prices. It helps tackle climate change and the sustainable management of natural resources, and it helps to keep the rural economy alive.
The truth is that farming is unlike any other business, so it requires special attention. Despite the importance of food production, it's highly dependent on the weather, and in general, farmers still earn less than people working in other sectors.
This is why the CAP provides income support in the form of direct payments to remunerate farmers working in a sustainable way and taking care of the countryside. And it can also take measures to deal with difficult market situations, such as a sudden drop in prices, and to address the specific needs and challenges facing rural areas.
But all this costs money. To be precise, just over €58 billion in 2018. That's almost 40% of the total EU budget.
It is definitely a big slice, but compared to the 73% it represented in 1985, it is clearly on a downward trend, and it is becoming more sustainable and competitive as a result of the successive reforms to cut red tape and better address new challenges. Now, what are these challenges?
Well, the main challenges are of an environmental and socio-economic nature. They concern, for instance, low farm incomes, rising unemployment, low productivity growth, an ageing population of farmers, and poor skills, as well as price and income volatility.
But despite these challenges, EU farmers are highly appreciated by consumers for producing healthy and high-quality food products, which are increasingly exported all over the world.
Now, let's look at the role the European Parliament has played in agricultural policy over the past 5 years. Stay with us.
Well, the Parliament's 8th term has focused on taking forward not only implementation of the latest CAP reform in 2013, but also a series of significant legislative achievements in areas such as animal health, plant health, and the organic sector, as well as a range of simplification measures that entered into force in 2018.
Let's give you some examples. The Parliament played a key role in setting up an EU school fruit and vegetable scheme to encourage good eating habits in young people, and in the definition of new rules on the production and labelling of organic products to increase consumer confidence and prevent fraud.
Together with the Council, it also passed new laws concerning transmissible animal diseases and plant health to better prevent the spread of animal diseases and plant pests, and to better protect citizens' health as well.
It also continued its efforts to further simplify the Common Agricultural Policy and make it easier for both farmers and national authorities to use it. And on the non-legislative front, it pursued its scrutiny and budgetary control roles quite rigorously.
The Parliament has also voiced its opinion on issues such as the protection of animals during transport and the crisis in the milk sector in 2015.
MEPs also supported the promotion of EU agricultural products, and they stood by Europe's farmers when Russia imposed a ban on certain EU food products.
They also organised hearings to discuss issues as varied as new breeding techniques, antimicrobial resistance, and the impact of the CAP on developing countries. So what other issues can the Parliament address in the future? Stay with us.
Well, even if the clock is ticking, there are still a number of important issues for the current Parliament and its Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development to address. For example, examining what common agricultural policy we want after 2020 in the framework of the future EU budget.
The new rules banning unfair trading practices in the food supply chain should also be finalised before the end of the current Parliament's term. These aim at strengthening the position of farmers and ensuring their protection against bigger and more powerful players such as supermarkets. The new rules will represent one of the greatest achievements of this Parliament.
You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcasts.